Hello everybody, welcome back to the Forest Job. It's a happy Friday for anyone associated with the club, as we have qualified in first place. We already knew that we were going to in the Champions League Group C qualification group. That means that we'll be going in as first seeds, or will be seeded anyway. I don't know about first seeds. Into the knockout stages, which we're going to have a quick look at now and see whether or not we've been given a kind draw or not. So let's go to the knockout phase, and you can see that we have not been given a kind draw at all. Atletico Madrid, struggling in their group this year, has led to us having to play them in the first knockout round. Oh dear. We'll see how we get on with them sometime fairly soon. But as for today, we're going to be playing in the Premier League, and we're going to be playing against league strugglers Leicester City, who last time we looked were in the bottom three and still are. They're there on 10 points. A win for them today would not draw them out of trouble, but it would get them a lot closer to the pack above them. Norwich, Aston Villa and Fulham all within a couple of wins reach of them, really. I would expect Newcastle to turn their form around as well, except I'm just looking at it and I don't know. I feel like they're there because they've drawn a lot of games, so hopefully they can turn that form around as well. Let's get into today's game, and a little change of system. Nothing too major, but I've been playing around in my private save with different formations just to see what works for me and what doesn't. And I found that this 4-4-2, if we just flip the central midfielder and the defensive midfielder around, seems to work. I'm not going to say that it's absolutely going to work for us, but it seems to work. We have Hlošek back on his favoured left-hand side, and Harry Wilson on his favoured right. So they'll be cutting inside on their favoured feet. And other than that, it's not too dissimilar. Actually, if we go into the instructions, we can show you a little bit more. So again, it's counter-attacking, short passing. We're playing wide. We're maintaining our formation, and we've got a medium support range. Defensively is where it's changed a little bit, because now we're going for all-out defence, and we're trying to focus our opponent's play down the centre. The reason for that is that we're playing a bit more compact now. Looking at Leicester, I feel like they're probably going to be a side that are going to try and get crosses in. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as we progress in today's game. They've actually got a pretty decent side. I don't know why they're struggling as much as they are. Maybe it's the fact that they don't appear to have uh, their talismanic centre forward anymore. Uh, Jamie Vardy has disappeared off the face of the earth. He must have moved to a different team. Before we get into today's game, I'm just going to pass you over to the highlight package for the last couple of matches, including our final game in the Champions League group against Roma. Well, there we go. A couple of draws. One of them absolutely boring as hell. The other one a little bit more compelling. Interestingly, playing against Roma, it was the first game that we played using the new system that we're going to be employing today. I call it a new system. It's a tinkering of the old system, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. I am the Tinkerman Mark II. Um, we felt very, very sluggish, and I don't know if that's because I'm telling them to defend differently, or because the game was handicapping me, because we all know that it does handicap players in some games. It makes the players feel a lot more sluggish. Even if you had a team full of bright blue flashing arrows, you'd feel like you had a team full of red arrows. It's appalling, really, and they need to sort that out, because that is not how you should make a game more difficult, is handicapping your team. You should probably look at that, Konami, if anyone is listening. Anyway, we're already 5 minutes into the episode. Shall we get on with the match? Yes, I think we shall. So here's today's team. I don't think we're going to need to change anything dramatically. I'm going to give Oriol Busquets a little rest and bring Tonali into the side. Busquets, of course, will stay on the bench in case we need him. And Harry Wilson is looking a little bit tired after our Champions League exploits. So Saelmakers, I think, will throw him on the right-hand side of midfield. And Nketiah didn't get to play in the last match. Oh, but Hernandez is looking really, really good. He looks like he's in form today, so maybe we should stick with him. Yeah, we will stick with him, but Nketiah will be very unlucky if he doesn't come off the bench at some point today. Right, so that's going to be the team today. I should also point out we did make a few changes in that last game. We had our reserve goalkeeper in between the sticks. We had Albiol playing in place of Worrell to give him a rest. Zefuk was off on the bench in the place of Frimpong. So we did have a fair number of changes, and maybe that had something to do with it. But I have to say, like, the individual sluggishness of the players, I don't think that that can be attributed to the fact that we had other players in positions other than their own. Like the likes of Hlošek were very, very slow. Hernandez felt like he had a lead weight around his neck. He really did. And he's not that slow of a player. He's actually one of the faster players in our team. We've already had a look at his stats a few days ago. So not entirely sure what was going on there, but let's put that behind us. We have a game today that we should be looking to win against relegation-threatened Leicester City. And we're going to go straight to the kickoff right now. Here we go then. Leicester somehow, some way, are playing in their away kits today, even though they are playing at home. I'm going to pay too much attention to that as they spread the ball wide. That's lovely. It does look immediately as though they're trying to exploit the flanks. Here's Kyle Walker. Looks for the cross into the box, and we cut it out nice and easy. Was looking for a release ball, but there wasn't one there, so Camavinga ends up getting it on the edge of the area and very nonchalantly brings it forward. Now Ait-Nouri back inside to Camavinga. Now Tonali. Ait-Nouri again. Did look like Hlošek was going to make a run down the wing, but in the end he decided against it. Ait-Nouri has it in an advanced position here anyway. Now Hlošek into Tonali. Saelmakers, who doesn't quite get the message with that ball. And oh, hello though. Tonali gives a shot here, and it's well wide. It was a chance out of nothing, really. Would have been surprised if he'd managed to score from it, but would have been nice if he'd managed to get it on target. Although, to be fair, I think the defender was covering all the angles there, so Tonali would have found it very difficult to get a shot on target and past his man, as Tangana receives the ball from the goalkeeper. Saelmakers looks to win the header, can't quite manage it, but he does force the mistake from the left midfielder, and we get the throw in on this right-hand side. Saelmakers to Tonali, inside to Camavinga. Camavinga looks for a ball over the top. Hlošek might look for a first-time cross here. Probably would have been better to try and control it. But there we go. You live and learn. Saelmakers looking to close the ball down, but he's got 3 men to contend with on this wing, and they easily play around him. But that's good from Tonali, winning the ball back in a good position. We could threaten from here. Hlošek, he's got men inside of him. He finds Hernandez. Oh, it's a good save from the goalkeeper. He can only put it out for a corner, but that's an opportunity for Hernandez. Lovely delay of the play there from Hlošek, just waiting for his man to get into position. A little bit of grass on the face of Kasper Schmeichel there. He's already earned his corn today with what could be a vital save for Leicester as Arcas throws one in. Saelmakers plays it out to Zefuk. Oh, looked to try and drive one in, couldn't quite get there. Manages to keep the ball in the possession of the red shirts though, it's good to see. Oh dear, that's a poor pass. Never mind. Looking to attack down their left flank, but couldn't quite get the ball on target, and now they have it and will look to push down this left-hand side themselves. Camavinga gets the deflected ball and away we come again. Didi does a good job of intercepting that ball, he read the play well. To Lidra, to Lerma. Aït-Nouri wins that ball convincingly and away we come now. Zefuk. All over the top for Toldra. Zefuk is on him and he wins the ball quite easily. Saelmakers. Tonali. Camavinga. To Hlošek. Aït-Nouri. Through ball into Hlošek possibly. Hlošek managed to stretch and get the ball into the box, but Schmeichel was way too alert to it, and immediately the ball gets sent down the other end. Worrell looking to win the ball here. Hernandez playing quite deep. Arcas bringing it away. He just loses it. It's a little bit isolated up front. Castagne. They've got 3 men down this side as well. It's definitely apparent that they're looking to get crosses into the box if they can. Oh, that's good from Hlošek. He's developing into a fairly decent defensive player, Hlošek. If it was push to shove, I wouldn't be at all worried about possibly playing him in the right back position if we were really struggling. Because he seems to be able to win a tackle. His stats belie that fact. His stats say that he is in no way a defensive player, but we've seen time and time again how he'll win that ball and offer the extra support down that flank. Here's Toldra. Oh, he's cut inside Zefuk easily. He's going to take the shot, I think. Somehow we get away with it, and now Hlošek can break. Oh, and there's our time whistle just to call an end to proceedings. We've really not looked like scoring at all this half, except for that one opportunity for Hernandez. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt us as we continue through this match. So far, been a match of less than stellar quality, and there's not been many chances for either side, only the one for Leicester, the 2 for us. Just going to make a slight tweak. We are going to stay all out defence, we're going to go aggressive, and alright, there we go. Just tiny little tweaks here and there. Saelmakers is a solid player, but I don't know if he's giving us much attack-wise down this right-hand side. So that's something that I'm going to have to keep an eye on in terms of squad building as we continue through the season. Arcas, Soyuncu gets the ball away, he does very well under pressure there. Tangana. Long ball out. Zayfuck underneath it. Wins it well. Sailmakers. Hlošek. Hernandez. Ah, dear. Thought I might be able to just sell a little dummy to him. I ended up dummying myself. Under has to put it out of play under extreme pressure from the Forest players. Somehow he wins himself the throw-in. I don't know how that's happened. He must have taken a slight deflection off of one of our players. Castagna again. Hernandez gets round his man. Arcas is in the middle if he wants it. He does want it, and he scores. It's an easy tap-in. It's not going to win goal of the season, but it will do the job for Nottingham Forest, who are 1-0 up here. And Leicester City's season continues to go worse and worse. I mean, he's very nearly saved it, Kasper Schmeichel. Arcas can count himself a little bit lucky. He's better than that where it comes to finishing. But Schmeichel's got a hand to that. They're spreading the ball well here, Leicester. I don't think they're going to be in trouble all season. If they continue to play like this, they will get points. Again, great from Hlošek. The ball goes out of play, it will be a throw-in, but Hlošek doing his defensive duties very impressively here. Just gives you a little bit of everything. Hernandez coming out with the ball. He's not got any support, so he's going to have to do it all himself. Referee, come on! Look, I've complained time and time again. I'm going to do it again. I do apologise. The number of sliding tackles that the AI employs, that to all intents and purposes, look to me like fouls. And they get away with it every single time. It's starting to annoy me. Because it does definitely feel like it's gaming the system slightly. They're being very, very physical. And in a lot of occasions, more physical than I could possibly get away with. It's good play from Hernandez. Hlošek's going to have to try and put pressure on Walker. Walker didn't want any of that. He just puts it straight out of play. And now Slimani is coming on for Kelechi Iheanacho. A slightly different threat up front. Not quite as much pace, but perhaps a better all-rounded player. What we're actually going to do is I'm going to go into the defensive instructions and I'm going to set it back to conservative. The reason for which I'll talk about in a second. Oh, and actually, while I'm thinking about it, we said Eddie Nketiah should probably get some game time today, and I think he will. And as well, I think we're going to throw Hlošek on the right-hand side and bring Victor Malejo on the left, just to give us a little bit more attacking pace. And the reason why I've changed the defensive tactic back to cautious or conservative is for this. If they win the ball in their final third, I can talk about it a bit more easily now. If Leicester were to win the ball in their defensive third, when you have aggressive on, it seems to me that sometimes your players, rather than falling back and forming that defensive wall, will actually try and go and win the ball. If you turn it back to conservative, they will, no matter what, join the defence. And since we're 1-0 up, and Leicester are actually giving us a good game here, I don't want to concede that sucker punch goal, and as a result, that's why I've gone to conservative. They're pushing us a little bit here. Oh, lovely. Oh, Hlošek, no. Yeah, he's won it back, though. Arcas! Oh, Arcas, what have you done? He stuck it right down the throat of the goalkeeper. He had to do better than that. He had all the time in the world. And now there's a counter-attack on here for Leicester. Vallejo doing his best to harass the player in possession. Hlošek's out here now trying to do the same. Salisu should win the header. Camavinga gets clear. And Nketiah plays it back to Arcas and we're away. Ah, shame. I thought I might be able to get Nketiah on his way there. He has got absolutely blistering pace, especially when he comes on as a second half substitute. He's got that skill in his locker where he's a super sub, I think is what it's called, and it gives him boosted stats if he comes on as a second half substitute, so it makes him even quicker, which is very, very handy, especially when you're playing against tiring defenders. And I make no apologies for the fact that I am playing very safe now. It's game management. Arcas into the middle looking for Nketiah. Can he get his head on it? No, he can't. It's a shame. It was a lovely inviting cross. If Eddie Nketiah was blessed genetically to be a couple of inches taller, he might have got something on that. I'll tell you what he is blessed with though. The ability to intercept a ball. That was lovely. Vallejo down the left-hand side, looking to hang a cross in, finds it. Oh, Kasper Schmeichel, good goalkeeping. Very good goalkeeping. Hlošek wins the header, and that is the end of the game. It's a very, very decent win for Nottingham Forest against a team that were really trying to spoil the party. You can see Ait-Nouri absolutely loving it. 3 points in the bag, and he knows how important those 3 points can be in the context of a league season. But fair play to Leicester City. They played exceptionally well for a team that are struggling at the bottom of the table. I think that if we were better on our game, we could have possibly got the second goal, possibly even a third. This is an absolute chance for Hernandez. Perhaps I should have taken an extra touch and taken it slightly wider of the goalkeeper before trying to hit that near post. But they had their chances, Leicester, and they made opportunities. They put us under pressure. Defensively, they were solid. 5 across midfield were giving us all kinds of trouble down the wings with those triangles, those passes that they were putting in. But in the end, you can't argue with the result. And you can't argue with those stats. We beat them in every department, except for saves, because we didn't have to make any. That's interesting. They've had 2 shots. They were both on target, and neither of them forced a save out of the goalkeeper. Let's have a look at the stats, because I hate myself. Stats pretty good today, actually. I have to say, we've done pretty well there. Arcas and Hernandez, 7.5 apiece. The 2 substitutes coming on for a decent rating of 6 each. I'm happy with that. And there we go. The rest of the scores from today's games see Arsenal with a very, very handy 2-0 victory over Manchester United. That should push them up from 9th, I should think. Chelsea beating Brighton 3-1 at home. That's a good 3 points for them. Manchester City absolutely burying Newcastle. I do feel sorry for Newcastle, but I think they will turn it around. I'll have to have a look at their squad later and see if they've got the players to be able to do so, I suppose. Liverpool also getting a 4-1 win, this one at home against Southampton, and Tottenham with a 3-1 win over Norwich. So, how does that affect the Premier League table? Well, it doesn't really. Certainly not the top 5. We all stay exactly where we were. Sheffield United really are, so far, the surprise package of this tournament. They are 3rd, and they show no signs of backing off. This is really exceptional form from Sheffield United. We'll have to see how they get on as the season progresses. Arsenal, they're now 6th, so they're in the European places. We could see them making a push possibly for the Champions League places. They're only 4 points off of 4th. We'll see how that goes for them as time progresses. Tottenham move up to 9th with their win today. And at the bottom, you can see Brighton have moved above Newcastle United I think on goal difference more than anything, because they both lost today. Leicester City are still in 18th, but the good news for them is that Norwich and Aston Villa both failing to extend their lead. So they're only 4 points off of potential safety here. I'll have to see how things go as the season progresses. Anyway, that's going to do us for another episode. A little bit of news for you guys. Hopefully within the next week we should have a new series starting. It's going to be called PES 101, and it's my attempt at explaining the basics of Football Manager, specifically within Master League. So whether it be transfers or let's have a look here. I actually have the list of episodes that I'm thinking of doing. We've got transfers, we've got training, we've got youth team, we've got tactics, and we do have one about option files. Now, all of that stuff is already available, of course, but if you would like to learn a little bit more about my ideas on PES and how best to get the best out of your players in Master League in those 101 lessons, then keep an eye on the channel, because they'll be coming sometime in the next week or so. The first one, at least. They'll take a little bit of time. I've had to start up a new save just so that I could get screenshots to show the things that I'm talking about here. So that'll do anyway. Look forward to that. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like on it. That would be very handy indeed. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye bye.